Hello, Spiritual Gangsters, and welcome back to another episode of the Spiritual Gangster Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Pieraldi, and today we're talking about something that sounds so simple, but for a lot of people feels weirdly uncomfortable. Rest. Not scrolling on your phone while your nervous system is still doing cartwheels. Not sitting on the couch while mentally making 17 to-do lists. Not answering emails from bed and calling it self-care. I mean actual rest. The kind where your body unclenches. The kind where your brain stops acting like it's preparing for battle. The kind where you don't feel guilty for simply existing without constantly producing something. Because let's be honest, a lot of us have no idea how to rest anymore. We know how to push through. We know how to survive. We know how to overthink. We know how to carry everyone else emotionally while pretending we're fine. But rest? Whew! That one feels harder than it should. And I think part of the reason is because somewhere along the line, exhaustion became normalized. People wear burnout like a badge of honor now. Everybody's tired. Everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody's just pushing through. And listen, I get it. Life is expensive. People are stressed. The world feels loud all the time. Most people are carrying things they don't even talk about publicly. But there comes a point where constantly operating in survival mode stops feeling productive and starts feeling destructive. And the scary part? A lot of people don't even realize how exhausted they are until their body forces them to slow down. That's usually how it happens too. Your body whispers first. You feel more irritated, more emotional, more drained. You stop enjoying things the way you used to. You feel mentally foggy. You're tired even after sleeping. Small things suddenly feel massive. But because you're used to functioning in stress, you ignore it. You tell yourself, I'm fine. I just need to get through this week. I'll rest later. Meanwhile, later turns into months, sometimes years. And eventually your body is like, okay, since you won't sit down voluntarily, I'll make the decision for you. And honestly, I think some people are terrified to rest because rest forces you to actually hear yourself. When you stay busy all the time, you can avoid a lot. Avoid emotions, avoid grief, avoid disappointment, avoid loneliness, avoid hard truths, avoid burnout, avoid yourself. Busy becomes a distraction. And if you've spent years constantly moving, slowing down can feel uncomfortable at first. Not because you're lazy, but because your nervous system got used to chaos. Some people grew up in environments where they always had to anticipate something, always stay alert, always take care of everyone else, always be emotionally on. So now, when things finally get quiet, their body doesn't immediately relax, it panics. Because calm feels unfamiliar. And if you've been in survival mode long enough, peace can almost feel suspicious. Like, wait, why is everything quiet? Am I forgetting something? Shouldn't I be doing something right now? Meanwhile, you sat down for approximately 4 seconds. And can we talk about the guilt for a second? Because guilt is real. You finally take a break and suddenly your brain starts acting up. You should be cleaning. You should be working. You should be answering messages. You should be doing something productive. It's like your nervous system became your toxic life coach. And I think especially for women, there's this pressure to constantly hold everything together. Be nurturing, be successful, be emotionally available, be organized, be healing, be productive, be strong, be kind, be patient, be present, take care of everybody else, and somehow do it all without needing rest yourself. It's unrealistic. You are a human being, not a machine with Wi-Fi. And one thing I've personally learned is that rest is not something you can earn by completely exhausting yourself first. That mindset will run you straight into the ground. Rest is part of taking care of yourself, not a reward for overworking yourself into emotional dust. And I know some people struggle with this because they tie their worth to how useful they are. If they're not helping, fixing, producing, giving, carrying, or accomplishing something, they feel guilty. But your value as a person does not disappear the second you slow down. You are still worthy when you rest. You are still worthy when you say no. You are still worthy when you need a break. And you're still worthy when you stop overextending yourself for everybody else. And honestly, some of us need to stop treating ourselves like we're only lovable when we're useful. That one hit me too. Because I think a lot of people learned survival before they learned softness. They learned responsibility before emotional safety. They learned independence before support. They learned how to keep going, but not how to slow down without guilt. And maybe that's why rest feels hard, because nobody taught us how to feel safe in it. I also think there's a huge difference between resting and escaping. Scrolling for 3 hours while comparing yourself to strangers online, that's not rest. Answering emails while watching Netflix with anxiety in your chest, not rest. Laying in bed overstimulated while your brain replays every awkward moment from 2009, definitely not rest. Real rest restores you. It gives your body room to breathe again. And sometimes, rest looks really simple. Going for a walk without your phone. Listening to music while cleaning, slowly instead of rushing. Drinking your coffee while it's still hot for once. Sitting outside. Laughing with people who feel safe. Going to bed earlier. Saying no without writing a 12-paragraph apology afterwards. That last one, growth. And listen, if rest feels uncomfortable for you right now, start small. You don't need to suddenly become a meditation goddess living off herbal tea and moonlight. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying give yourself moments. Tiny moments where your body realizes, I don't have to be in survival mode all the time. Even 5 intentional minutes matters. 5 minutes without multitasking, without noise, without pressure, without proving yourself. Just existing. And if guilt comes up during those moments, don't panic. That doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It probably just means your body is adjusting to a different pace. Because healing is weird sometimes. Sometimes healing looks powerful. And sometimes healing looks like crying because you finally sat still long enough to realize how exhausted you actually are. And honestly, that deserves compassion, not judgment. I think some of the strongest things a person can do is learn how to care for themselves before they completely burn out. Not after, before. Because you should not have to hit rock bottom to deserve rest. You should not have to completely fall apart before you finally slow down. And I know there are a lot of people listening right now who are tired in a way sleep alone cannot fix. Emotional exhaustion is real. Caring too much for too long changes people. That's why protecting your energy matters. Boundaries matter. Rest matters. Peace matters. You cannot constantly pour from an empty cup and then act shocked when you feel depleted. At some point, you have to start giving yourself the same care you so freely give everybody else. And maybe this week, instead of asking yourself, what else can I get done today? Try asking, what do I actually need today? That question changes everything. Maybe you need quiet. Maybe you need sleep. Maybe you need laughter. Maybe you need space. Maybe you need a break from constantly being available to everybody. Whatever it is, honor it. Because burnout is not a personality trait, and exhaustion is not proof of your worth. Before we wrap up this episode, I just want to remind you of something. You are allowed to slow down. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to rest without explaining yourself. And you're allowed to stop carrying things that were never yours to hold alone. And no, the world will not collapse because you took care of yourself for 5 minutes. I promise. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another episode of the Spiritual Gangster Podcast. If this episode resonated with you, send it to someone who needs permission to slow down without guilt. And as always, protect your peace, honor your energy, take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit, and keep living like the spiritual gangster you are.